Guys, how long have women been boring for? Like, is this just an issue for my generation specifically, or has this been like a lifelong struggle across all generations? Because tell me why you can't joke with women about literally anything. I made one very tame, very mild 9/11 joke to this girl yesterday. You would have thought that I looked at her in her eyes and told her she was ugly. What are we doing? What are we doing? And it's like, God forbid you show a little humor as a woman. Just a little. It's like they have no sense of humor until it's like time to make fun of men. And all of a sudden, they're a jester. All of a sudden, they are the funniest clowns on earth. Those are fine. Let's make fun of men that are broke and fat, but God forbid we joke about anything else. You can't joke about anything that's going on in the world, or weight, or looks, or anything. But we can joke about men are stupid all day long.
Here's another example of why women are the problem sometimes. So women are like, when we go to the gym, the men stare at us. We don't want you to stare at us. I just watched a video of a woman doing calisthenics and nothing but a crop top and skin-tight booty shorts. And there was 3 men around her, and the entire minute video, none of them looked at her. They didn't give a single what she was doing, okay? And so I noticed it naturally, right? And so I went to the comments, and every female in that comment section is like, but no one looked? Oh, so now you want them in to stare at you at the gym? That's a little hypocritical. It doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? No, it doesn't. How about you just go to the gym and everyone there is minding their own business? Like, if people stare, people stare. If they don't, like, whatever, big whoop. People are there to fight their own demons. They're not there to, like, oh my God.
I was talking to my male coworker the other night, and he was telling me how his ex pulled up on him at 4 a.m, gave him a full body massage, and then massaged something else with her mouth at 4 a.m. Like, I would understand if you texted him and he drove to your house, you know, or don't even text him. You shouldn't even be texting him. He should be texting you. But I would understand if he drove to your house at 4 a.m. But you left your house on your gas money and drove to this man's house and give him a full body massage, and you no.
I have a question for the men. You most likely grew up being conditioned by the world or by your family that you expressing your emotions and feelings makes you weak. And as a feminine woman who desires to be in a partnership with someone who breaks those walls down and allows themselves to be fully seen and fully express how you feel, because I think it's the most attractive thing in the world, what does it take for you to get to a place like that? When you've been hurt and burned in the past by maybe other women after you did express yourself, or you were rejected, and so you don't want to do it again, or you were just conditioned growing up, like I said, what does it take for you to fully let that go and let someone in?
So most men don't care about birthdays or Valentine's Day. I'm starting to not want a man after all. You are very clearly not thinking ahead. I want you to take a moment to think about this. Imagine that a man that you're interested in is 10 times more excited about Valentine's Day than you. Imagine that he thinks his birthday is the most important day of the year. Would you actually prefer that? Because a lot of women say like this, but they don't realize if that were to actually happen, they would end up getting turned off. Because the reality is, unless you're in a super long-term relationship where essentially you've created a culture in your relationship where there are clear expectations and practices around birthdays and holidays, then the more likely situation is that one partner is going to care more about birthdays and holidays. And that's usually women, typically. Just because most men are not bouncing off the walls with enthusiasm about Valentine's Day does not mean they're bad. And it also doesn't mean they're not interested or that they don't love you. You are more than welcome to remain committed to men being bad instead of learning how to appreciate our differences.
They don't be lying when they say when you laid up anything motherfucking car. I'm laid up with my man, and mind you, this was before I even post him on here, so it makes the story even worse. Boom, we smiling in each other's face. I get a call, I look at it, it make it worse. It's on Instagram. What is it calling me on Instagram for? Please, mind you, the hoe that's calling, I wouldn't even let them pass me hand sanitizer. That's like, I'm trying to get y'all to understand. I'm looking at him like, bro, I don't know what the fuck's going on. He like, nah, you good, answer it. Cool, because I answer this. I feel like a RICO case is being bid on me, and I'm innocent. I answer this, say, you so Hollywood now. You on with me. I'm confused with what? I'm like, huh? He gonna say, you must be with your man. No, like, no, how did he know? I am. Like, how do you know? I didn't even post him yet. I'm like, yeah. He gonna say, call me back. Bitch, call you never. Never Jose. What the go away? Look at him, bro. I'm trying to believe my case. I swear to God. I'm like, I swear to God, it's nothing like that. Like, I don't even know why this is calling me. I'll block this. So you go through my phone, you go through the group chat. I don't give a. He end up believing me, and thank God, because I'm like, it's no way you think I'm like that, please. Whew, girl, I almost shit on myself. And then we saw that with the mom. He gonna look at me and say, you know who that is, right? So we're being messy. Like, really? I don't even, like, I've never put that hoe. Please don't put them allegations on me.
Homegirl told me she likes to humble men as soon as she meets them to kind of set the tone. And I said, well, what do you mean by that? And she said the last first date she went on, she walked up to the guy, said hello, and said, I wanted to let you know that I shaved for tonight. Of course, he was stunned and excited, but before he could say anything else, she said, but you will not be taking me home tonight. I wanted to let you know I shaved because if you've the first date up and I don't ever want to see you again, then I'm just going to call my ex when I leave.
Hey, man, listen, I thank you for telling me that. I appreciate that, because now I don't have to spend the $200 to $300 that you was wanting me to spend on this date. Actually, taxi. She gonna go with you now. She's gonna go with you now. She's gonna go right back home. As a matter of fact, you say something like that to me, I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna bid you a good night right now. I'm headed back to my car. You just gonna leave a woman standing here? You don't have to stand here. You can call an Uber. You can call a taxi, see if they can get you on back to the house. But you don't have to stand here. Number one. Number two, if you get lonely, you can go inside this restaurant right here and you can just kind of wait, but wait inside the door. If they want you to order something, then order some water, sit at the table and, give them a tip. Maybe order some coffee if, it doesn't have, they don't make you pay for water, and give them a tip for letting you sit there. But you're going home tonight. So, hey, listen, as a matter of fact, I might actually even pay for a drink. I'll pay the $15 for a drink because you just saved me. You just saved me. What is that? Like $145, $200, $300 on you and the foolishness that you was about to bring. I appreciate that.
And I will say it, sometimes straight men don't realize how funny they are. I went to Walgreens Pharmacy yesterday and I get in line behind a group of bros that I guess were all picking up their prescriptions together, and I'm carrying a box of tampons, and so when I get in line behind them, they all turn around to look at me, checking surveillance or whatever they do, and one of them is making direct eye contact with my super bulk box of tampons and goes, you want to cut us? I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. I was in a rush. So I was like, this is great. And as I'm passing them, I'm realizing that it's because they think I'm on my period. So I turn back to them. I go, you know what, guys, that is so sweet of you. If I would have been in this line for another 5 minutes, I would have been PMSing all over this. Who knows? I could have bled out. So you know what, straight men, your civic service does not go unnoticed.
Almost everybody at best is average at this table.
Why don't you rate us?
I can do that. I said I'd give myself a 4.5. You, Miss 10, Miss Perfect. Before I give you the rating, I'll give you some positives and some negatives. Your lips are definitely above average.
Okay.
Oh. You don't have to do that. That's okay. That's crazy. Good lips. Good lips.
Yeah. Are they?
All right. Don't get too okay. You do have blue eyes, but you're wearing the strumpet lashes.
I'm not gonna.
Can you turn that way?
This way? Or all the way? Or how
Yeah.
much?
He's like brutal.
You know what? Look, I'll just say this. I'll give you a 5. Yeah.
Oh,
I'll give you 5. So you have a slight negative canthal tilt in your eyes. You do have lip filler, you said. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's artificial. But wait, can you face that way?
No, the side profile.
Okay, yeah, I do see the lip filler bump there in the lip.
It's pretty bad.
I'm gonna go ahead and give you 5. You have nice eyes. You have a positive canthal tilt. You have hunter feline eyes. I think we gotta give you
At least an 8 or a 9, like for real.
I want to say 6.5.
This is what is single-handedly
this
causing the male loneliness epidemic.
Yeah.
What the are you talking about? Like, all of us, every single one of us is so much more attractive than you are. Even if we're not an objective
He said that,
10.
though.
Wait, hold on. So
He said he's a 4.
of the people I've rated them more attractive than me.
Yeah, but we're significantly, not by half a point.
Even if I was a 1, you don't need to be a weatherman to know it's raining.
I told my man, I was like, tomorrow I need the day off. Like, I'm not going to talk to you tomorrow. He was like, all right. What? Like, what do you mean, all right? Like, why are you so okay with that? We went back and forth, and I was like, no, like, I'm actually gonna give, like, I'm not talking to you tomorrow, I'm giving you the day off. He was like, okay, like, if you need a day off, like, you can take the day off, like. No, you hate me.
There's nothing lamer than when a guy is like, you wanted equal rights, you got them now, and then refuses to do, like, basic acts of kindness, like hold open a door, take you on a date, say please and thank you. Like, bro, just tell us you hate women.
Men don't speak no more. And I think I
know too. You go. I know. You go ahead. I already know why.
No, for real. I think I know why.
Go ahead. Why?
Because I heard it plenty of times.
Okay.
Men don't speak no more because women have nasty ass attitudes. Like, and they hate rejection. You feel what I'm saying? That's why men don't speak no more. Real talk, they don't speak. So now they feel like we have to speak to them.
That what
Real
it
talk,
is?
they feel like, yeah.
I keep seeing this male content creator making fun of fat people. His whole shtick is that he stitches their videos and talks about, I could never be fat. Like, it's so easy. Calories in, calories out. I hate when he stitches their helpful content, like how to fly in a plane if you're a bigger bodied person. I need you to shut up. Think with your brain empathetically. If you're a bigger bodied person, just know I love you. I empathize with you. Don't listen to this dumb asshole. Literally block him.
Cope harder. This is what happens when me being honest threatens someone's entire brand. You're not upset because what I said was wrong. You're upset because what I said is the truth. Goodness, you're talking to grown adults like they're helpless children and calling that compassion. Let's be honest for a second. Your video isn't about protecting fat people. It's about making me the villain because I say the quiet part out loud. Yes, we both agree that nobody wants to be that big, but the part that you and I disagree on is that you say they're powerless, I say no. Pretending they're powerless keeps them stuck and keeps you relevant. You really want to know what the truth is? You don't hate my message. You hate that it threatens your brand. Grow up.
So many comments are literally this, like men being like, I don't want to approach because it's not going to be peaceful because women are going to either make fun of me, call me creepy, reject me, whatever. Like, we will literally do anything to protect ourselves from hurt. And that makes sense from an evolutionary perspective. Like, we need to protect ourselves to survive. But when it comes to living a psychologically rich life and accumulating experience and becoming resilient, you can't just like hide behind fear, honestly. Like, you just can't. Otherwise, you're not going to grow. And the more that we try to choose the path of comfort and convenience, the more that we just like silently kill ourselves. I wholeheartedly believe this. So you can try to like protect your peace all you want, but I can guarantee you that is going to be a longer road of suffering than putting yourself out there and becoming the person that you want to attract in your life.
So this man texted me this morning and said not to belittle you, but the investing I do into you in this relationship is not being returned. And I'm done complaining because I'm not being fed, or those are the minimum requirements for me. I can't waste no more time or money for something that doesn't seem like it's going to happen. You are not a bad person at all, and I still have love for you, but I deserve more when it comes to a relationship. I have no bad feelings towards you at all, and I wish you nothing but the best. Let's unpack that. Mind y'all, me and this man been dating all of 2 months. We officially been official like a month and a half. And mind y'all, every day me and this man argue. We argue. He belittled me in some way. So I'm not doing something right in some way. Mind y'all, it's just me in my house. I don't cook every day, and I'm not going to cook all the time because it's just me. So therefore, miss me with all that. Furthermore, if I'm arguing with somebody, you're sucking the mood out of me. You sucking the energy out of me. Like, I'm not in a happy place. Like, yeah, I want to go with my man today. Not at all. 1. 2, even when I'm on my period, it's like this man don't want to be around me. Mind you, we've been talking for 2 months, so I've been on my period twice at this point. Oh, you not doing this, you not doing that. maybe if you shut up and stop trying to argue with me all the time, I would get in the mood to do that. But instead of unpacking that, it's gonna be my fault in the end, and I truly don't give a damn.
She turned the comments off, but basically, you don't want to do anything. That's what he's saying. You're not doing anything. And he realized, hey, I'm investing too much money into this. I'm investing too much time into this. And I'm not even getting anything close to what I want. I could see if the intimacy was good, but we're not even doing that. You don't cook for me. Like, you don't do anything for me. So what are we doing here? What are we doing? Nothing. You're not a bad person, is what he said, but I got to get up out of here. There ain't nothing really being reciprocated, which it sounds like you confirming here.
Here's a prime example of how a man will manipulate you to chase him and for you to lower your standards and your boundaries, and how I responded when he tried that with me. So let me show you the beginning. So one of my biggest pet peeves is when men try to engage in sexual conversations with you. That is such a turn off, and I shut that down. The moment you attempt that, I've already lost 50% of my interest and you are on thin ice. This is my point of view. I understand that there are plenty of women, if not most, who will entertain these conversations with men they just met. I'm not judging, but I'm saying I cannot blame a man for attempting to engage in those conversations early on, because most of the time, I'm sure women entertain it. That is why it is my responsibility to say, hey, I'm not into that. I don't want to talk about that. This is my boundary. You take it or you leave it. And this happened here. I met a man in person. He gave me his number. He's currently traveling, and we have a date planned on Wednesday. This conversation is a Saturday before the date. He reached out to check in on me, like, how am I doing? He's telling me how cold it is where he's at, and then he says, I wish I had someone warm to cuddle with. And then I said, I'm sure you do. So then he goes, what is that supposed to mean? And I go, I'm teasing. I figured. And then he talks about the female touch. And once again, I changed the conversation to the topic I had and not female touching or cuddling. So the convo continues. He goes, what you're up to? And I told him I just woke up and I have a brunch planned at 1 p.m. And then he says, that's me running over to cuddle/warm up until 1 p.m. Okay, so now it's time for me to communicate my boundaries. So I say, LOL, enough with the cuddling. Would prefer to not entertain conversations about cuddling or intimacy while we're still getting to know each other. I don't understand why some guys don't realize how much of a turnoff that is to many women. Simple, straightforward. Here's my boundary. You take it or you leave it. So he just says, okay, I'm sorry. And I heard it. Okay, cool. After that, we do continue talking, and now it's the day of the date, which is Wednesday. And we spoke the night before, but there wasn't a mention of a time and place, and I got other things to do. So before I schedule my plans with other people that evening, I'm like, hey, what time? And I want to give those other people an answer on when I'm free. So this cornball then says, hi, I don't know. I kind of feel like you beat me up for my comment this weekend. Beat you up? Interesting use of words, and he used that word to strategically turn himself into a victim. Me setting a boundary, a simple boundary, made him a victim. So my simple answer is, okay, if simple boundaries bother you, especially while we're still getting to know each other, then we can end this here. I'm not playing these mind games. I'm not playing these childish games of you accusing a woman of beating you up or being mean or being whatever for setting a boundary. This was his failed manipulative attempt at having me go, wait, no, I wasn't beating you up. I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry. Misunderstanding. And essentially try to win him over and beg to continue the date this evening. No thanks, I'm actually happy. Now my whole evening is free and I can do my other plans fully. I hate an all or nothing man. And an all or nothing man is somebody who lives in extremes. Any conversation is an argument. Any boundary is you bullying them. Speaking up for yourself is beating them up. So unattractive. Is there not one man with emotional intelligence? Anyways, that was that.
Well, it looked like he responded back. It didn't look like he responded back. Listen, let's
until
get back here. Let's go backwards a bit. So I don't know why you didn't read this up here. Okay, so you said, okay, he's talking to me. I guess you didn't feel like that was information that anybody needed to know, but that's okay. So you're saying, you're basically starting, that's your hook. So you say the weekend is good. Then you say, met with a friend for a drink yesterday and going to brunch later this morning. It's rainy here, but I don't mind. So really, honestly and truly, it's conversation. It's not the most engaging, but whatever. You say, it's cold here. I wish I had somebody to cuddle with. Okay, so whatever. So she's explaining herself, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. talking about setting her boundary. Like I said, I understand what she's going for and what she's talking about. So she comes back here and she says, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. She's not going to engage with that. Okay, that's fine. And he said, what's that supposed to be? She said, oh, I'm just teasing with you. Come on, man. Come on, say something. No, I'm just teasing. Switch. I wish I had somebody warm to cuddle with. I'm sure you do. Are you? What you want? Oh, I'm just messing with you. Da, 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 whatever, whatnot. But you say, I'm sure you do. Conversation to me is a little dry, is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And he says, LOL, what's that supposed to mean? She says, I'm teasing. She's really not. She's putting the LMAO in there, but she's not. She's not happy about this, right? It's just presentation. And she said, I'm teasing. He said, I'm figured. He said, I have a serious case of missing a female touch. I'm being cold, blah, 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 and this and that. Can you leave me alone? Why don't we wait until like we talk on a date or something like that to see if we get to know each other? Because you're doing too much right now. All right. I'm just messing around. Anyway, so when we going, and by the way, when you gonna take me out on this date? Well, are you taking me out on this date, or are you gonna sit up here and play around, talking to? Do you talk this way to all strangers? You know, kind of like that. All right. So she talking about blah 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 blah. Okay. So he said, what are you up to? She could have, I believe, nipped this in the bud probably maybe a couple text messages ago, to be honest with you, if I'm being honest. So she says, that's me running over. He said, that's me running over to cuddle, warm up, whatever. So he says, would prefer not to entertain conversation about cuddling, intimacy while we're still getting to know each other. I would have put, if that's okay with you, on the end there. And then what she actually did was try to go into a tangent about, I don't understand why some guy, da da da, and this and that. We don't need all of that. So when he came back later on and he said, you kind of beat me up about so and so and X, Y, and Z, that's what he's referring to right there. He said, I don't understand why some guys. So basically what you're doing is placing him, even though you're saying some guys, you're placing him into the box with some guys. And that's why he responded like that. If you didn't want to, go out on a date with him, just say that is all I'm saying. Just say you don't want to go out on a date with him. Just say, I'm not really feeling it. I feel like the way that we got off on, in my opinion, the wrong foot about talking about intimacy way too soon. It's just, to me, it's just over the top. I'd like to get to know you a little bit better before we even moved into that realm. So that's probably how I would have handled it. I know women in the comments are talking about being strict, but you guys are, I think you move into being rude. You know what I mean? I understand, once again, what he was doing. He shouldn't have been doing that. I get that. But you want to know why he said what he said. I'm just letting you know.
The single worst feeling, especially as a single woman who loves her body and her body's a palace, is ovulating. And literally nobody can tell me any different. And I don't think men understand, because I literally had thoughts that I think were illegal in 3 states and probably frowned upon in heaven. I walked into the gym, smelled cologne, and almost started barking. Yeah, saw a slutty mustache, had to go home. No cardio being done today. At all. But we love and respect ourselves. Not everybody deserves access.
To all my men in your late 30s and 40s, why are you still single? Why are you still single? What's going on? Talk to me.
Being married to my husband, I swear to God, is like a game of chess. I don't know where he pulls these moves from. But anyways, about 10 years ago or so, I decided to be a sweet wife and write my husband a love letter where I just poured my whole entire heart out to him. And then I was like, you know what, let's just spice things up a little bit. So behind that letter, I added a coupon book with different things that we could do together as a couple. More things that I could do for him, if you get what I'm saying. And this book came with a set of rules. I could not deny him the use of the coupon. It didn't come with an expiration date, and it could be anywhere or anytime that he wanted it. Never in a million years did I think that that coupon book was going to come and bite me in the ass. So anyways, fast forward to now, we were having a discussion and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to give you none tonight. You can deal with that. And he's like, no, that's not going to happen. And I was like, yes, it is. Bet. And he's like, bet. You're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to not give it to me. Like, I'm going to have what I want. And I was like, bet then. So throughout the whole entire day, he kept flirting and trying to seduce me. Like, I would fall for it. And I was like, no, I got self-control. And so, you know, fast forward to the night, we put the kids to bed. They're asleep. We're chilling in the living room. And I'm like, you know what? I'm sleepy. I'm going to go to bed. So I head on to my bed. And this guy, instead of going to bed with me, he goes straight to his safe. And I'm like, what is he doing? Why is he looking at his, it's late at night. There's no reason why he needs to look at his safe. And so he locks the thing up and I see he has a little paper. And then he turns around and looks at me and it's that damn coupon book. And he's like, I want to cash out. And I was like, cash out what? And then he shows me the freaking coupon book. This man had been saving that thing for 10 years. 10 years to save it at the right time. He said, I've been saving this for a time of need. And I was like, what? He's like, I've been saving this coupon for a time of need. Anyways, I lost that battle, but I swear to God, he's going to pay. I'm going to figure out something to get him back.
And the need is now. Well played, my brother. Well played. Well played.
Stay in the car while I break up with my boyfriend.
Six and a half hours later.
Yeah, I mean, he took it pretty well. Thanks.
Okay, another email with a candidate after I've shared a match suggestion. So this exchange is with a female candidate. This happened after I shared the bios and both of them signed off on it, and then I shared the photos. Her response: I'm going to have to decline. I specified in my profile that I go to the gym regularly and appreciate someone who has a more athletic build. Now, just to give you an idea, I would say that these two are in the same realm. She is very curvy and he is not necessarily an athletic build, but tall and broad. And by the way, he also specified that he's active, that he hikes regularly, and he leads an active lifestyle. So here's my response, and I've used this line before, but I find that this is kind of like the best way that I can say this is, I'll be honest that this will be a difficult match for me to make because someone with an athletic build will likely also be seeking that in a partner. I will keep your preferences in mind if I have other options. Her response: are you saying I don't look athletic? My response: no, I would not say that you do. Now, there are a bunch of things to unpack here, and I'm just going to go through them one by one. So this has happened to me a bunch of times already, where someone will kind of be a little bit confrontational and then expect that I will backpedal on my statement, which is what she did when she said, are you saying I don't look athletic? And then when I kind of double down on it, I think she wasn't necessarily expecting that. Now, what you are or what you aren't isn't my concern. However, when you expect me to look for something specifically for you on the basis of something that you think that you are, I have to be honest. And it's not really just about my thoughts either. I have a lot of data points. Now, there will always be the people who will call out, oh, just because someone's overweight doesn't mean that they're not athletic. And I agree with that. Overweight people can absolutely be athletic. But when I tell you that the majority of people who specify that they want someone athletic or anything related to fitness, they are referring specifically to the way a person looks. I think lifestyles is also a factor because they want their lifestyles to align, but usually that is the reason. And by the way, in the thousands of profiles that I've seen, any reference to any kind of specific body type that they want has always been slim, thin, slender, athletic, and never once has it been curvy. And I'm not saying that there aren't people who like that. What I am saying is that this is what I'm seeing in the profiles. And just to touch upon another point, I will get a lot of comments sometimes that will say, I'm fat, my husband's super fit, and we got married. Or I have tons of guys at the gym who are after me. And you know what? I'm sure they are. You know why? Because it's real life. Real life is different than someone going online to a matchmaker, to a profile, and listing out the things that they want, ideally, versus someone meeting someone in real life and getting to know them and being able to kind of understand that some things are not ideally what they wanted, but that they're okay with them because they like the person overall.
I look at this stuff, man, and they keep on telling us that this is not what women want, but then you have matchmakers. I guess it's the women that are going to the matchmakers, honestly. Maybe it's just them that's saying, well, this is the type of person that I want, and you're a matchmaker. You have contacts, make it happen. You know what these modern women remind me of? They remind me of, how you see in the movies, maybe in some gangster flicks and stuff like that, to where they try to, not even gangster flicks. You hear about, well, let me not say that because, I don't want to get in trouble by nobody in the government, but they say, I'm paying you something or I'm going to do something, make it go away. Just, I'm not even going to say what I'm going to do, but make it go away. I don't want anybody hearing us and all that stuff, but you know what to do. You got code words and all that stuff, make it happen. It's basically what they're saying. Here's a payment. That's what these modern women are treating matchmakers like. Hey, I'm giving you this. Make it happen. That's your job. Make it happen. And actually, now that I'm reading the comments, a woman says they treat this like they're writing to Santa Claus. Exactly. That's what I was just saying. That's exactly what I was just saying.
Every time my dad comes to visit me, he reminds me of what a man is supposed to be. Like, I wake up and my oil's changed, I have gas in my car, and my car is clean inside and out. All before I woke up. That is what I think a man's supposed to be.
I love that for you. I really do. I do. I just want you to understand that you still do not have a ring on your finger. You still don't have a man. So, whatever your dad is doing, good for him. But just letting other dudes know about this is not going to shame you into getting a man at all. This little thing that modern women do where they try to, oh, well, my dad does this, this, and this. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Do your own stuff. And you notice he don't do that for you every day, right? He do that when he's in town, but he don't do that for you every day. Huh? So he put you out there, he left you alone and let you do it by yourself most days. I do it for you when I come into town, but I'm not going to be here in town. I got other stuff that I'm doing. I got to live my own life. But every so often. So even looking at it that way, we have to understand that Dad ain't always going to be around. Dad going to let you go out and do what you want to do, but you don't hold him to it, do you? You say, hey, man, I appreciate you coming around, and I appreciate you taking care of me for the time being. I know you got your own life, and I'll see you next time you come up here. I know you're going to take care of me when you get here, but I know you're going to go ahead and do whatever you need to do, right? I wonder if you have that same attitude for your man. I know you got stuff to do. I know you got a life to live and everything, but I appreciate you taking care of me whenever you got the time. I wonder if you had an attitude like that, how that might go. If he wouldn't start coming around a little bit more, right? Number one. Number two, there's going to be a lot of these men that are doing more than your dad just by virtue of being around you all the time. So, even if a man got up, gassed your car up 12 o'clock at night, or I guess it would be 12 in the morning at that time, 12 a.m., gas it up 12 a.m. once or twice a month. Still be doing more than your dad because your dad comes around every so often. So say your dad comes around every quarter. He might fill up your car and do all of this stuff 4 times a year. Like I said, the virtue of a man doing this, the fact that he lives with you, or he's in the same city as you, and he might do it maybe a couple of times a month. He's already doing more than your dad is doing. So he would be a better man than your dad. And all of the other stuff because he's doing more than your dad. You see how stupid it can get real fast? You see how stupid it can get real fast?
Y'all, this man texted me. He said, what you doing? I said, nothing. I'm just chilling. What are you doing? He said, I'm probably finna go get me a drink, somewhere downtown. I recommended him one of my favorite places to go. Okay. So he asked me, how long you up tonight? I said, nothing. I'm just chilling. He said for sure. Now, how much y'all want to bet he finna go get the drinks and the food by himself, right? And then he's gonna try to come over here. I bet y'all $500. I bet y'all $500.
Are y'all together? Well, then he owes you nothing. He owes you nothing. So, I don't see what the gotcha is. He owes you nothing.
So I've been dealing with a married man. Don't get me killed. That's why you're nervous, girl. He's been with his situation for 20 years.
Don't be trying to make it light by saying his situation. He's been married for 20 years. Go ahead.
I just want to know why it turns me on.
Kitty,
oh, God.
What's your best advice for a woman that's turned on by sleeping with a married man?
You know why you turned on about it?
Why?
It's that Jezebel spirit that's in you. The devil always has to feed off of something. You feeding off of somebody's marriage. I don't take these things lightly. That's why you were shaking when you came to this microphone.
Right.
Because you knew what was coming. And I'm not speaking from my own mind. I'm speaking as a woman of God right now. When you are entering into somebody else's covenant, you are playing in God's face. And you also trying to build off of another woman. That ain't never gonna get you anywhere. I don't care what that man is doing. For you to come up to this mic and be a woman who does not have integrity. We talking about women. You know how it feels to be hurt? I know you know how it feels to be betrayed. You would never want something like that to happen behind your back. You are operating from such a low space of self-worth. You gotta do better than that, baby. I don't care what lies that man is telling you. You think that's cool. You think stuff is sweet. It's not cool. I've seen God's wrath with my own eyes. And that man is out of order right now. And when he faces God's judgment and he's in direct rebellion of God, guess what? You're gonna be a victim of that judgment as well. You've put yourself in that type of position. Y'all keep playing with God if you want to. You've seen it. I know you've seen that. You can't get the love that you need from a married man. That is reserved for his wife. He's only giving you the bits and pieces that he wants to give you. You don't think you better than that? And my other issue is a lot of times what women do, women like you, they see that a man is loving a woman appropriately and they want that. It ain't even got nothing to do with the man. It has everything to do with a woman is getting something else. She came up here and she tried to rationalize him not having a ring and stuff like that. Like, what we doing?
It turns you on because you're sneaking around. It's the thrill of sneaking around. It's the thrill of having something that you're not supposed to have. If I sneak around in the kitchen and I get the cookies, don't they taste that much sweeter? Because I wasn't supposed to have the cookies. Mama told me to go to bed. Daddy told me I need to be in bed. And I was somehow able to trick mom and dad and sneak into that kitchen. Even though years later, I found out that mom and dad just didn't get up out of the bed and they gave me grace and mercy. They knew I was in that kitchen. I was making all that noise. They heard that glass jar opening. You know, now that I think about it, where are glass jars? Does anybody keep their cookies in glass jars anymore? We use that, what are we doing with glass jars, man? We don't have any glass jars anymore. Tell my wife that I'm going to get me a glass jar for cookies. And they going to sit there and I ain't going to eat them. But it's the nostalgia of it all. That's what it is. I'm going to get some nasty cookies too, because we used to have nasty cookies. We used to have to beg for Chips Ahoy. We used to have to beg for Oreo. They would buy us those cheap Sunday school cookies, like the lemon cream or whatever that was in the middle of them with the whatever it is type of cookies, the off-brand Oreos. They would buy those and I hated those. I wanted the real Oreos. They also had it was like a sugar cookie, but it had a chocolate bottom, and then it had like the chocolate drizzle. I don't know where those are. They're almost like a Girl Scout cookies is what it is. And then they would put like the end piece of the bread to soften the cookies. I hated that too, because I like my cookies like solid, but they would soften the cookie. I hated that. But man, I need to get me a glass jar to put those cookies in. I need a cookie jar. I don't know if it's going to say cookie jar on it, but it's going to be a glass jar to keep the nostalgia. We had a glass jar it was a glass jar. It was about the half size of a gallon of milk, about half that size. And it had like a little brown wooden top to it, like a little round thing. Man, you don't have that anymore. But that's why you feel that way. Do better.
Men want a girl boss. Men want a girl boss. The man that I will marry will love me because I make him chocolate chip cookies, okay? And I birth his children. Not because I'm running a company.
It's 2:30 a.m. and I just finished a first date. And you would think 2:30 a.m. must have been a great date. I'm walking myself home. I shaved every single crevice of my body. It's been 20 days since I was last cracked. And I didn't even get a goodnight kiss. Mind you, we were 5 minutes from my apartment and he wouldn't even walk me home.
You think you know betrayal? Let me tell you the craziest story that I have ever heard and seen when it comes to betrayal. So this couple comes to the hospital. They've been married for 20 years. The reason they came into the hospital was because the wife knows her husband. She knows his mannerisms and she starts to notice that something is off. She's like, he's a little more forgetful. He's like, certain little things were just off about him. On top of that, he was losing weight. So they started to do a neural workup on him, right? And one of the first things that they do is the scans. So when the scans came back, it showed that he had lesions on the brain. So when you see lesions or when you hear lesions, the first thing you think of is cancer. So we're like, oh my God, he has cancer. She's beating herself up. She's distraught. She's like, this is my husband, the love of my life, the father of my children. I should have brought him in sooner. I noticed the symptoms a couple of months ago. I should have done something. I can't believe this, right? So now she's planning like her whole life around the fact that her husband has cancer. She's looking at treatment. She's doing the absolute most. Now, here's the thing. When we find out that a patient has lesions on the brain, we don't just stop there. We have to rule everything out, right? So we do a little more work, right? They did the blood work and they find out that this man does not have cancer. This man has AIDS. HIV that has progressed to AIDS to the point that he has lesions on the brain. Now, when we found out that he has AIDS, this has to be reported to the Department of Health. And the Department of Health would contact the person who has the AIDS and will ask them, hey, who have you been sleeping with? Because this is a matter of public safety. We have to notify them. This man had the option to call his wife or to tell his wife in person and let her know, hey, this is what happened. This is what's going on. He did not want to do that. He did not have it in him to break his wife's heart because this woman thinks that this man has cancer, right? She is distraught. She doesn't know that he cheated on her and he has AIDS. So he decides not to tell her the news, right? He decides to let the Department of Health do that. So I guess they asked him, hey, give us a list of the people that you slept with. Obviously her name is on there. They call her and this woman comes to the hospital the next day and she is ripping him a new one. She is distraught. I mean, she is going in on him as she should. They were married for 20 years. You know what type of betrayal that is? But while she is yelling at him, his side piece shows up because she also got the call. His active side piece. When I tell you that security had to get involved, oh my God.
You know, this could have ended a lot worse than it did. And maybe he would have been happy with the way that it ended. If that type of information got out to me as the woman in this situation, could you have blamed her for doing a little bit worse? For bringing not only herself, but bringing a little friend as well. And letting that little friend speak to the man. I know if the little friend would have spoken to the man, then it would have probably been the last conversation that the man had. But that's reckless.
I said I need $3,000.
Okay.
Okay, what? You don't make me feel secure about that.
I mean, that means I gotta go figure out $3,000 so you can have it.
Why do you have to figure it out? Why can't you just go to the bank and get it?
Oh, especially with this pay.
Goodbye.
I mean, I guess she thought she was hurting his feelings by hanging up on him, but by hanging up on me, you just saved me $3,000. So I'm not mad at that.
You don't need to look at this yet until you look at the gift first.
Well,
Look at the gift
I
first.
I thought it was a car, you know.
Yeah, look at the gift first and then this makes sense.
Oh, okay.
This makes sense after you look at the gift. Please handle with care. It's a delicate item.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
I see.
You put the gift on the table. That's the gift.
What is it?
It's a leaf. It's a golden leaf. It represents value and worth, wisdom and enlightenment, prosperity and abundance. So in this new year for us, we want all those things. So I bought you a Gucci golden leaf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
You don't seem too excited about it.
It's not that big.
When you look at that receipt and see how much I'm spent for that, you can appreciate that Gucci golden leaf. You have to put it back in because it's hard, like, for it not to get, like, it's definitely delicate.
Okay.
So now you can open it so you can appreciate your golden leaf a little more.
Okay.
Not that one. You do the next one. It's another one in there. You can look at this one next. That's why the car didn't have the money in it, because I spent $2,000 on this golden leaf right here. The frame didn't come in yet.
Okay. Thank you.
You don't care?
I'm with you, babe.
I thought you was gonna like say something about me spending that much money on a golden leaf.
You might want to stop recording so you can put that in the middle.
I wouldn't say you put it in the middle. No, you're fine. I just want your reaction. I'm not getting. You don't care?
Man, can you put the phone down?
I'm gonna start this by saying I really hope there was a skit, and this is my own personal opinion. Ain't nobody gotta agree with me. $2,000 for a leaf, and for a man. I like little knickknacks, right? And gold is my favorite. I like little knickknacks. $2,000 for a leaf, I hear her with the sentiment behind it. I'm trying to make it make sense. $2,000 for a leaf. He looked like he didn't want to hurt her feelings. That's what he looked like. Like, okay, thank you. Like, I suck at buying gifts. I've said that several times. Honey, I would never buy you a $2,000 leaf, though. I wouldn't buy you a $5 leaf. $2,000 for a leaf? It represents, what she said, prosperity and growth and all of those things. We could have grew that $2,000.
I actually cannot tell whether or not this was a skit or not, because I can't see anybody spending $2,000 on a leaf. Like, what are we doing with the leaf? But
Decoration.
But this kind of opens up a bigger conversation. Listen, women, hey, when you're buying gifts listen, let me start by saying every man is different. Obviously, we know that. But when you're buying gifts for the man in your life, don't buy them based off of what you think you would like. Buy it based off what you know he's gonna like. I mean, because at this point you should know him as the man in your life. You can't go out and buy a bunch of sentimental stuff, because men don't view they don't view certain things as sentimental like a woman would view those things. Buy him what he wants. Y'all say, you pay attention to the woman in your life. You'll know what she wants, even if she doesn't voice these things out of her mouth. You kind of got to do the same thing for the man. You can't just be out here just buying stuff because you think it's sweet, because 9 times out of 10, man probably is not going to think it's sweet, and it's probably going to end up in the back of his drawer somewhere. And we don't want your feelings to be hurt when that happens. You know what I'm saying?
That $2,000 leaf better not end up in the back of nobody's drawer. That thing need to go on display somewhere.
Well, it's brittle. Right?
I don't care.
So
put it in a glass box.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's brittle. You can't just be putting it in the back of the drawer. It's got to go on display, up and out of the reach of children and things like that. No, I get it, though. I get it. I get why y'all buy these things that are sentimental, because things and keepsakes mean things to you guys, but typically they don't mean as much to the men. So you got to take yourself out of the mindset that you're buying something for yourself and buy things for the man. Pay attention.
Sometimes it works, though, because remember I bought you that custom book with you and the kids in it, and you said you almost cried. Were you lying?
No, I wasn't lying.
Okay. That was sentimental.
That was sentimental, and I really did appreciate that. And sometimes it works. Sometimes, most of the time, it does not work. Y'all, did y'all see his eye though?
He was twitching.
That was the feeling that all the men had when they were
God.
watching that, because ain't no way you put $2,000 of our money into this leaf.